All right, so this is the case study for our accessibility internship program, right? We all will be working together on this exercise, on this case study as a group, as a team, right? Let us understand the case study, let us understand the background, and we will talk about what we need to do in this case study.
So in this case study, at least from a book perspective, what is mentioned is a Candy Hub business. Candy Hub is a app, is a site which sells lollipops of various shapes, size, and colors. So for your example, what we'll do is in this book we have mentioned Candy Hub, but what everybody will do, they will go to Google, search any one site which sells chocolates, toffees, or lollipops. It could be any of the site you can take. There are at least 8-10 which are available online. Any one site which sells chocolates, lollipops, or toffees, we'll take that one site. The next thing which is mentioned in the case study is that Candy Hub now is moving towards global. So they are going global, matlab they are increasing their business across various countries. So the second thing which is very important to do is which all countries these sites has to be operated. So if I'm taking an example of Nestle, or I'm taking an example of Cadbury. So Cadbury site is accessible where all? It is available in India, it is available in US, it is available in Europe, it is available in Canada, it is available in other Asia Pacific country. What all countries that application or the site or the business is operating in. So you all will take one such site, then define scope, which all countries. Based on the countries, we will first define which all regulations are applicable for that. What are the standard and the legal requirement for that countries. Second important thing is, what does this, is this site only available in web or mobile also? Because web standards are different, mobile standards are different. Is it clear up to this? Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
The third important point is, what is your testing scope only? If today's accessibility is not for any particular type of disability, accessibility is for all. So is it this site is applicable for young people, old people, disability, it is visual disability, it is speech with disability, what all this application you have to test, because your then guideline standards will be as per that tested. So the second important part of testing is that what all is the scope of testing, what all type of users you will consider for testing. So you will then define that for my side, the people who will come will be of this age, they will cover people with hearing problem, people with visual that, because for all types of things the testing parameters can be different. So second important thing is what all use, first was country, second was your form factor, third was the type of users. Rohan, fourth is what you as a business want. So it is very important that, suppose from a compliance perspective you are only doing in India, but still you want your application to be WCAG level 2 compliant. It is your business requirement. You want as a company to comply to this. So fourth piece is what as a business, what level you want to comply to, which depends upon company to company. But first, which is country wise, is legal requirement, which cannot be different for different companies, which is same for a country. So abhi tak we have discussed 4 parameters which you define the scope of your testing. Can somebody repeat that? Was I very fast? Should I repeat? If it was not clear, I can explain again.
Ma'am, please once more.
Sure, Shweta. Shweta, suppose I am a owner of Cadbury. Cadbury sells chocolates. Okay. I was only selling, that site was today only available in India. Now I want to launch that site in US, Canada, and European countries. Now Cadbury company has come to you for accessibility testing. Now you are defining the scope for that testing. First thing what you will ask from them is which all countries you want to operate. So which all countries you want to operate? India, US, Europe, Canada.
Yes.
Now these 3 countries, we'll see what are the compliance regulations from a perspective of accessibility, what you have to do from a accessibility perspective. That will become your first scope. Second is whether Cadbury you can only buy through web application, which is your laptop or desktop, or do you have a mobile app for that also. If they sell their products, your chocolates on both, they have an app for mobile also, and they have a web application through which you can do your buying and all. That means from a testing scope perspective, you will have both. You will have to test as per the standards of web also and as per the standards of mobile also.
Yes.
Is it clear, Shweta, or not, beta?
Yes, ma'am.
Second, a third important part is, now somebody will tell me what was the third which I have told.
Requirements, ma'am.
Yes, what all user type the Cadbury things on their site people will come. Is it only children? It is adults, it is visually impaired people, hearing speech people, or other types of disability also. What all users they think will come on their site and they will support. That will become your third requirement. Fourth requirement is Cadbury's as a company wants what? Could be they are only operating in India, but still they want to be their application to be accessible for at least this type of users. That is business requirements. So these four forms the scope.
Means ma'am, fourth one and second one are same, right?
No, beta. Fourth and second is how same. Second was either web or mobile. You will have different guidelines for web and you have different guidelines for mobile. The fourth is type of users coming on it. So if the thing which a person, the accessibility things to be considered for a hearing person, a visually impaired, for a child or a old people, all four will be same or different, Shweta?
Different.
That is what you have to think, that when somebody, your application or product, some user only will be using it now. So who all are the users who will be using it? What is the scope from a user perspective?
That will be the third one, ma'am.
Fourth one.
Third one, sorry. Fourth is your business requirement. I am only operating in India, but still I want to be level 2 compliant. That's what I want as a business. I want my site to be 100%. Because these days, even company, when they present their annual reports, their results, they're on their Facebooks and others and all, they really say their sites are accessible. These are very positive, which give them a very, very good brand value. So I still don't require it from a legal perspective, but I still want to do it.
Ma'am, if I repeat once, first one is we have to find out the countries.
Yes.
And what are the regulations of that countries. And second one is whether you have to develop for mobile app or web desktop.
Yes.
Third one is category of users.
Yes.
What category? All that categories. And fourth one is business requirements.
Yes. Perfect, Rohan.
Madam, I have a small doubt.
Yes, I tell me.
When it comes to countries, okay, there we have some rules now. Like we have in India, WC, like everywhere same or different, ma'am.
It's just the level up to which most of them follow WCAG guidelines only, but the level 1, 2, 3, that country wise could be different. There could be, and that also have various parameters. There could be some difference, and could be that
study that one also. Or what
you have to, beta. That's why when you will define scope, you will say Canada is a scope. So Canada ke liye, these are the 4 things which you have to put. Other part is could be one country the requirement is lower and one is a superset. So if
how can we come to know that country is using which type of WCAG guideline?
It is very easily available on the net. You will write the country name plus say accessibility compliance requirement. You will easily get that. Otherwise, whenever we'll define scope, you define a company, a country or an area, I will let you know from the net itself. Otherwise, it's very easy to search that, Rohan. There's nothing like this. These are readily available.
Internet it is available.
Arun, you are saying something better. Your voice is very feeble. I couldn't get that.
in internet it is available, he's saying.
Easily available, Arun. Very easily available. All
May I know anyone of you to know about the DEC accessibility university? I mean DQ University.
Sorry, Sagar, your voice was little.
He's saying about
University. Is it clear now, ma'am?
Yeah, whoever. Yeah,
The
Sabit.
thing I wanted to know is, do anyone of you know about the DQ? I mean,
Tech University.
Yeah, Tech University.
Actually, we do have all the details, most of the details in that actually. Like
Sagar,
we
you
have
will
some of
get. That's what I'm saying. It's not easy. It's not difficult at all to find from. There are many places which is consolidated, and what you're saying is one of those examples. There are many places which where you will get all these things consolidated. So you will not find the issue of which country to comply to what is never a issue. The only thing which you have to see is some countries will be a lower compliance, some will be higher. So if a site or application operates from various country, always go with the higher one, because then it will take care of all the other countries. Even if you operate from 10 countries, 2 countries needs higher compliance, so you anyway have to test your application as per the higher compliance only.
Automated testing is available for a higher testing.
We have still not come to score tools. We are abhi to defining only the scope of our testing. We have not even come how we'll do the testing. That's a secondary thing.
Can you tell the example of business requirement?
I just said in India there is no such requirement of meeting to level 2, but there are many companies or sites which still comply to level 2 because it's a brand reputation. I'm not sure how much you people know, but a lot of annual reports DEI is being published. One of the parameter in that is how many people you hire, all your applications and all, how much accessible it is for all types of users. Such things are published these days in annual reports of the companies, so it's a brand value for you. So you usually present that whatever your sites are accessible to these and all, these are pluses for the companies, even if it is not a legal requirement. And it could be reverse also, Jaganti. I from a country perspective, I operate very less of that, but I am okay to take a risk because my application, if I'll make compliant, the cost is too higher than the legal impact of it. Suppose the legal requirement is only $100 to make site accessible, getting it tested, making it fixed and all itself is if $1,000. You will not go for it, na beta. The fine is lesser than the cost to do it. So in that case, risk is lesser, but the cost to mitigate is much higher. You will go ahead with it. Even if the legal requirements are there, then business sometimes can override that also, depending upon the risk and the impact of that. Is it clear?
Yes.
Okay. Any other question? Abhi, whoever was asking for tools, we have still not come to tools at all. We are just defining the scope.
Yeah, ma'am, I understood.
ठीक है, अभी स्कोप के बाद what we have to test, which is not for only accessibility, it is for everything. You do normal functional testing, you do accessibility testing, you do anything. Now is if you have an application in that, what scenarios you have to test. So if I take example of again Cadbury, what Cadbury में functionality would be there? There will be a login registration page, new user will come, they will register. Once they have registered, they will do a login. Once they have logged in, they will go to and browse various types of chocolates and all that applicable. Once they have liked something, they will go buy it, they will make the payment. Once there is a delivery, they have the delivered status they can see from their site. They can come back and give feedback for that. This entire thing is various scenarios, and the testing is always for a scenario. It cannot be generic complete application testing, na baba. You will test registration page, you will test login page, you will test payment page, you will test the catalog browsing page. It is that all are various scenarios. So the next important thing once you have defined the scope is which all scenarios to be tested for which all user. A normal user will have limited functionality, administrator will have some other functionality, somebody will have, depending upon the access you have an application, user wise various scenarios to be listed that what all you will test.
Ma'am, hello.
Yeah, please, Priya.
Ma'am, in entire case study, we have to check accessibility.
Yes, Priya.
Yes.
Priya, abhi tak we have not even come to actual checking of accessibility. First thing which we were defining the scope of our what we have to do. Now we have to do that scope is defined for what all scenarios with all users what to be tested.
We are in step 1, I think. Huh?
We are step 2. Now we are defining the scenario. Scope final हो गया था. अब scope के बाद what we are trying to define is scenarios and the users combination what we will test. Now, third priya is the actual. Now we have to see for doing accessibility testing for those scenarios, which all places I can do use tools, what all I have to do manual testing. So accessibility testing is always a combination of tools plus manual testing. So you will have checklists, guidelines also against which you can use tools. Few of those parameters you have to do manual also. So there are checklists defined for various things, which I'm not sure if sir has shared or we will share. You have already shared. So either sir has already shared, but we'll again share. So you have testing for accessibility testing scenario wise. You have checklist for which you will test. Some of those things you will test with the tool and you will only put the output. Some you will do manual testing and put a result into it. So third important point is the tool set and the what all tested in the checklist for that.
Tools are A-checker, wave tool, those are right.
Yes, Rohan. So you will close beta for the particular testing for a customer. What all tools you will use? Sometimes it could be defined by the customer also. Sometimes customer are very specific that these 2-3 tools. If you're doing some testing for Microsoft, there are some Microsoft tools only they suggest for testing. Okay. Some other vendor says this, or you can be generic, but it's usually accessibility testing is a semi-automated one. That means you will use tools also, and there'll be some manual testing also involved into it.
Based on their requirement, customer's requirement.
Customer requirements also, if the customer has not defined Rohan, then you can select the tool chain and toolkit based on your understanding.
As per my wish.
Yes, as per your wish, and there definitely will be some part of that will be manual testing also. So once testing done, you will put that in the checklist which you use for testing.
Okay.
Is this clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Everybody?
Yes.
And if
for me, it was little fast.
I was about to say that if you are
Testing means we do it by tools, by ourselves.
Just a sec, somebody is there. Let me just first add him. Sorry. Yes, you were asking something.
Explain step 2, ma'am, briefly.
Don't worry, Sai. I will explain the entire process once more. I will. First, is the scope and 4 points clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Anybody in the class who have not understand the test or the scoping part of the testing?
Ma'am, just now I've joined just once. Can you recap, ma'am? My name is Keshav.
Keshav, now somebody else will recap.
Okay, right. Thank you, ma'am. Okay.
No, somebody will now only. I really want to see how much they have understood.
Okay, right. Thank you, ma'am. What is the topic you have discussed, ma'am?
Keshav, what we are trying to do is I'm just trying to lay the foundation of the case study. We started with what are case studies. There's a Candy Hub application which sells lollipop, toffees and all. They were operating in India. Now they are trying to go global. For that, they have come to you for their accessibility testing. So I'm just trying to explain the steps to be done. So the first step was that for this testing, we'll define the scope. And I explained before for scope what all has to be done.
Ma'am, a small excuse from my side. As I have some important work outside, so can I leave the class?
Sure,
now?
sir.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I'm sorry for that. I unexpected the work have been scheduled.
No problem, sir.
And a scope means country requirements. Second one is web or if not app we are there using. If not, third one is categories. Fourth one is their business.
Perfect. Very perfect.
That much only, na ma'am.
Yeah, that much only, saying that's fine. Vishwa, you have joined just now, no?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. My name is Keshav. The name is Vishwa.
Okay. That name was only. Keshav, the first most important part is which all countries you will operate from. Based on that country, what are that country legal requirements? So that will form the base of your scope and what all compliance you have to meet. Second is your application is which all form factor? Is it required for only web? It is required for mobile. It is required for tablet. It's required for, there are offline apps also these days. So what all is the form factor and type of application testing? Because for web and mobile, they are different accessibility requirement or that. So second is web and that. Third is what all type of user. Could be your app is a person, a normal person also. What a 10 years versus a 60 years, the accessibility requirements are different. So what all types of user? It is a young child, it's the adult, it is only visually impaired, it is hearing impaired, what kind of disability, visual also fully, or that, all that, what type of users will access this application is the third point. Fourth point is business requirement. What your business want. Could be that legally you don't want, but still you want to be compliant. Or legally it is required, but the cost of doing such thing into your development is too high, and the legal fine is too low. Could be you decide not to do it. So then fourth point is what the business requirement is.
Okay, first 2 points, just you could tell me once again, man. Only the name.
Country and the form factor.
Okay, right, man. Second one is?
Country is the first. The second is the form factor. Form factor means whether web or
Form
mobile.
factor.
This is called form factor.
Okay, right.
After scope, what we were saying is what all scenarios to be tested. Okay, if you have to, you must be using any e-commerce site, na? Let it be Flipkart, let it be Amazon, let it be Myntra.
Yes,
You all would have
like
used.
that, yes, ma'am.
So just tell me
Yes.
when you use that application, what all scenarios you use that application for.
Scenarios means skip to main contact will be there.
If you go to Myntra site, the most important first part is you have to register to Myntra site or Amazon site or a
If
Flipkart.
we are a new customer, we have to register to that site. After that, we have to log in. Then we have to collect the items, which we are yet to buy. Then we have to add it to the cart or bag, whatever it may be. Then we have to move towards payment. After delivery, we will do the feedback. We will give the feedback to that particular products and all.
Yes, Avinash. So that various scenarios for what you do with the e-commerce site or this Candy Hub kind of application or any such thing. The second important part is that. So you have to list down, and that also for various user, Avinash, could differ. For if I take an example of Amazon, one is a normal user who comes to buy, but there is an Amazon seller app also, where the scenarios are different. So user wise, which is called persona wise, your scenario could be different. So you have to define for an application persona wise scenario, means various types of user, and for each that user, what are the scenarios. One of the example which you said was all normal user, but for seller, what it will be, he will come, register, log in, he will add product catalog, which you see, then he will add inventory for those catalog. So all that is for a seller. So you have to do a persona which is user type wise various scenario. The second step was
scenario.
Is it? Am I too fast? Yeah.
No, you're not too fast, man. You're in a medium speed only, man.
Okay. I thought usually I'm a very fast person, so let me just check if I have
No, man.
Second step was this. Third step which we said was we have to close our tool set, because for testing some places we will use different types of tools, some we will go with manual. So each against a checklist what tool set we'll use, we will close that. Those tool set customer can also dictate to you that I only want those tool sets. So usually I was giving you an example, if you test something for Microsoft applications and all, they are very particular about using Microsoft products only for their testing. So could be that customer puts on you what tools to be used.
The recording is also available, guys.
Let's do one thing. From toolset we'll do in the next class. You all will write the scope and the second scenarios for any one application which sells chocolates or toffees for the next week. Just let's do two things only. Write a scope. A second is scenarios for that.
Country requirement, how we can
whatever you feel, Sai, it is your what you have to do. Now you have to write that Cadbury is only doing in India, wants to do in US and Canada, whichever. This is your requirement. Now whatever you want, put in that, and as per that we'll define आगे का.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, it's open ended. Sorry.
Ma'am, writing means we have to list down in notepad or.
You have
No,
to
Excel.
you have to start writing in a Word document, Excel, whichever way you feel. But write,
Excel is most convenient.
yes, whichever way, Baba. That's what I'm saying. I'm not putting any format. Just use that.
Right.
And for before next class, write the scope and the scenario. We'll start from the tooling in the next class.
Ma'am, if you don't mind, what is the business requirement?
Business requirement means which person doing business, he want to improve his business, na. So what is required for business improvement, like nice customer support, like kind of things. If I'm correct.
What exactly the customer requires about his business, about the product or anything.
Yes.
Okay, so I think you guys have the recording, so you can listen to the recording, make notes, and next time when we meet, we'll talk further. Yeah?
Sir, ma'am, ma'am,
Yeah, please.
ma'am, in business requirement, the basic thing is that the owner will decide to minimize the cost and maximize the profit. That option he will choose, right?
It can be that also, or it could be the reputation of the company also, because of which he feels to comply to a higher standard.
Yes, ma'am.
You start putting, next week we'll start from this only. Whatever you have written on that only, first discussion we'll do, and then we'll start with the tool set and tool chaining.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am.
Chaliye. Done.
All right,
Okay,
sure.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.